apple here. Have a look at this apple. Can you see where this hand fits in the apple?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now can you see them in the middle of the apple? There is a disc. This is the flat Earth. This is what we are living in, guys. We are living in an apple. The dome is an apple. Apollo is the god of the apple. The apple is the hyperboloid torus. Here is Frank Chester's work and the Chesterhedron. It's the shape of a bell. The bell is Baal, Belus, the god Bel. That's why you always have bells in church, because that's where you go to worship Baal, the sun. It's the Holy Grail. See the cup here, the Holy Grail. It's an upside down bell, Baal, the bell. Now this is very interesting because, sorry?
I was going to say, even the very elect shall be deceived.
Exactly, and they're getting deceived by literalisms and false prophets.
Well, I have to ask one thing, because someone that was talking to me yesterday that is an expert, according to himself, about these things, was talking about the torus fields and telling me that there is no way we can be living on a flat earth because everything has a torus field, and because of that, earth has to be a circle, not a circle, what do you call it, a ball, and for the energies to go from the top to the bottom, like the picture on the right that you have here. That's the only way, and that's why Antarctic, there is an Antarctic treaty, and also the North Pole, they won't let you go because you go into the torus field from there, and that is a complete indication that we live on a ball.
That's what he said.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're going to fix that right now, right here
Please,
and now. So,
thank you.
no fear. We'll fix these materialists. Their minds are material, and it's very, very sad. Can you see these? This bull here, Apis?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. This is the same as Serapis, the Egyptian sun god. The bull is always considered to be the sun god because the sun is inside the torus field of the apple of Apollo. It's always an apple. That's why the apple has a core. Core is the same as cardiac, the heart. In the heart of an apple, in the heart of the man, here you'll see a core, a heart. And the heart is in the center of the torus field. And it's the same with the earth. You see, the apple, that's just another word for Apollo. The apple that Eve ate was the material apple of the torus field. And arbor, it's the same word, a tree. See, when we go back to this picture here, Stan Tenen himself, a Jewish scholar, says that this part of the hand, this is the tree of life in the center of the Garden of Eden. This is Mount Meru. This part of the apple is the core. The North Pole is the core of the apple, and the disc is in the center of it. It is exactly the place where we live. This is Yggdrasil, the tree of the Nordics, the tree of the Druids, Yggdrasil, in the center, Mount Meru, and this is where the sun is centered from this core. And so you see the bell in the churches. There's always a bell because the bell shape, as Frank Chester discovered with his Chesterhedron, is in the heart, and it is the Chesterhedron, the sixth polyhedra, and it turns out here is Molech or Baal or Bel, and it's in the shape of a bell, and it has a bull's head. So Bel and bull and Baal and El. Here is El with a bell on his head. Here's another one with the same torus-shaped toroidal hyperboloid head in gold because of the sunlight. Here again we have a torus, a bull. So you've got Taurus, Apis, Apollo, and bull, Baal. Here is the dome, which is the apple. And inside the dome, this is how it works, guys. Dominus. Who is Dominus? It's Jesus, the Lord. Dominus. Domenica. Domenica is the Italian word for Sunday. Sun. Can you see the halo, the sun around Dominus's head? Jesus. Can you see the same halo around the head of Apollo? Can you see here the halo, the sun god? Can you see the apple of Apollo? It's the Taurus field. You see he's playing a harp because he's the god of music. This is the music of the spheres, of Plato. And here he is again being drawn by horses, Horuses. Horus is the sun, the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The sun is turned around gyroscopically around Mount Meru, clockwise, hence all clocks go clockwise because so does the sun. So does the sun. And so here we see the apple of Apollo that we live in. Here we see the Thunderdome.
So,
who is
Santos,
yep.
Is it why they make us spin backward? In their stupid stuff, they make the Earth spin backward because everything is going clockwise, but just to confuse us more, they put the spin backward.
Yeah. Well, there are times when the sun stops and turns the other way, rises in the west, sets in the east. This, according to some Greek historians, for instance, Berosus, I think, and Manetho, Berosus, and who's the other famous Greek historian who's the father of history, they call him, not Thucydides, the other one. Anyway, he went down to Egypt, and the priests there at the Temple of the Sun at the city of On told him that they have records of this happening 4 times in their history, where the sun has changed from east to west setting and west to east. Now, most of you materialists who are pseudoscientists will say, oh, well, that means the Earth has to stop spinning, and then the oceans will cause tsunamis, and how does the sun, how blah, blah. It's easy. It's easy. The sun is just an effect. It's like when you get a magnifying glass and you focus all that light onto something 1 or 2 meters away, a bit of paper, you can burn that paper because you're focusing that light with coherent light. And so that's how the sun is. The sun is not actually a solid object. It is an effect of other rays that are beamed onto it. And so it's easy to stop that beam as the sun is traveling 1,000 miles an hour in the sky. It's easy to stop it in its tracks and just shoot it the other way. There's no harm done. There's nothing. No one suffers. It's just all you do is you stop the dial in the middle and turn the other way. Simple.
So what do you mean that it is the effect of other lights?
Well, it's the effect of something happening locally. The sun may actually be encased in some sort of a glass structure, or it might be reflected off the dome, the glass of the dome, the crystalline sea. It's a glassy part of the sky, of the starry heavens, as it gets projected from Mount Meru. Mount Meru is this magnetic mountain, or this tree that we've just seen in the heart of the apple, which is controlling the sun. As I showed last week in the show, the sun is turned around by Mount Meru, this magnetic mountain. It's a magnetic counterspatial inertial. Let me get the correct expression for this. Just bear with me one moment. Dielectric inertial plane. So our Earth is a dielectric inertial plane. It's a planet. It's a dielectric inertial plane. See the work of Ken Wheeler. He doesn't subscribe to flat Earth at all, but I'm adding to his work. He has discovered how magnetism works, the first person in history to do so, and he does it quite simply on his YouTube videos. And magnetism is, and what we think is gravity, is a movement towards counter space. In the center of all so-called atoms and planes and anything, even humans, animals, all objects, is a counter-spatial dielectric inertial plane. Now, I'll explain that in a minute. But for now, let's just get through this. Can you see Apollo here? Thor with his hammer, with his thunderbolts, the thunder dome. The dome, the thunder that we hear in the sky is caused by Thor, and that sound of thunder is an atomic word, thun, T-U-N, Atum, thunder, because this god, the sun, is in the dome, in the apple of Apollo. Here we go again. Look at these words. Taurus, tornado. See the tornado here? Here. Yeah, this is all magnetism, guys. And so we see an apple. There's the other apple. You see the hyperboloid working with the torus, the apis, the apple. And so this is what Ken Wheeler says in his book Magnetic Secrets Discovered. Something like that, I forget the name. He says magnetism is dimensional. The dielectric is intradimensional, or in counter space. And only when these two ether fields move against each other, then there is electrification, which is the ether in a modality of dynamic polarization. Simple. When the hyperboloid is interacting with the dielectric inertial plane, which is basically, you've got two fields working against each other here. What you can see here is you can see centrifugal divergent waves and centripetal convergence interlaced and what's the word? Conjugating, as Dan Winter calls it. They are conjugating waves. So you've got centrifugal divergent waves and you've got centripetal convergent waves. And this is how everything is. Everything is torus. Everything's toruses, guys. And our system is no different. See here, this is the true system here. This picture explains everything. Here is the plane we live in. It looks like all of the galaxies that we see. They are apples. They are bubbles. They are eggs, golden eggs. And the gold comes from the sun in the center of each of these. And there are billions of these universes and apples. And you can see the tornado going down the center of this apple. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
isn't that what the concave earthers believe, that such a thing?
Well, yes, because what's concave is below. What is above is the same as what is below. So that tree extends downward to the 7 subterranean planets.
Oh, this is
Have a look at these
awesome.
words.
This is awesome.
Have a look at these words here. Dominus, the dome, the Lord, the Son. Everything is the Son, guys. And the dome is the Father, the Dominus, the Lord, and the Son is the Son. That's why it's called the Son. Because the dome is the Father, and the Son is the Son, and the air and the magnetism that it works through is the Holy Spirit. Period.
Dominion.
And so,
And the Holy Spirit is the mother.
yes, yes.
That's why
And so look at these words.
That's why Santos, we've been given dominion over all things, and we're not using our consciousness properly, but dominion, same thing from there.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Taurus, torso. We already saw torso back here. Look at that. There's the torso in the Taurus field. Why do they call it a torso? Why do you go walking around with a torso? Because you are a tornado. You are a torus. Taurus is just, look at the words Taurus. It's an anagram of torso.
That's why they call it our torse, too. Le torse, en français, ça s'appelle le torse. This region, I don't know what it is in English. I think it's the same thing, torse. But
Yeah, it's torso or thoracic spine.
Yeah.
Okay. Tora, tornado, torch, tort, torque, torpedo, torrent, torrid, torture, torment, torpid, torsion, Torneo in Spanish is like a tour. Torneo. Torch, turret, turn, turmoil, turbine, tour, tor, as in T-O-R-R. Terror. There you go. Look at the Earth. Guys, have a look at this word, please. Stop here.
Yep.
Terror.
Terra.
Please understand what's going on here. Terror is Torah. It's Taurus. It's an apple. There's no mistake about this, guys. We have the true cosmology. We've got it down pat. Right here, right now. Terrible, terrific, terror. Why are all these scary words related to the Taurus? Because it's terrible. It's terrific what the Taurus can do. It's terrible. It is torment, because the Taurus takes us from the world of peace and unity with our Creator, Krishna, and brings us into the world of Brahma, of demons and demigods, and hell and purgatory and paradise and torment, etc., etc. And then finally, here we have, this is the key to the whole thing. If you stop here, you'll get it. Dan is Adan. Another way of, that's the Japanese way of saying Adam. And in Japanese, man is Dan, D-A-N, DNA. Dansei. In Japanese, if you want to point to a man and say the word man, you say Dansei, Dansei. Stop there and think about that one, guys. Everywhere in the world, a man is damn, a damned one, a demon, a Adam, demigod, Adam. And we have, and so we see here the dome, same letters, M and N are interchangeable, so a dome is the same as saying DNA, and DNA is actually, well, let me find that. I've got so much stuff here. Just wait till I release this. Once I release this, it'll be all over for the materialists, guys. They'll have nowhere to run. Nowhere.
I've been saying on my videos that they're hiding a metaphysical universe.
A what?
I've been saying they're hiding a metaphysical universe.
Yeah, they are. Here we go. Have a look at Dan. Dan is another atomic word. Dan, D-A-N. You've got 4 versions of it here. You can spell it 4 ways. D-A-N, DNA, and NAD. Now, please study this this here, and you will understand all things. All things. Adan is DNA, and is andros. See, andros, Andrew. What does Andrew mean?
Manly.
Manly. And it comes from the word hand, just as the word man comes from manus, the Latin word for hand, because it's the hand that defines us. Remember that little hand instrument that Stan Tenen made with the apple, the hand thing? Right? Well, we come from the hand, handy Andy. That's why a man is handsome. Man is made from sand, land, he can stand. All of these words have atom in them. Right? And so that's what we're looking at here when we're looking at the DNA. We see DNA, we see the donut. Why is it called a donut? Adon. Everything is Atum. All things are Atum. When you look at percussive instruments, let's have a look at percussive instruments, shall we? Sure. I can't wait till I release this presentation. It's going to blow the top off every materialist's brain. Look at this. Can you see that? What's that called?
Yeah.
Tom-tom, atom. Atoms are everywhere. Tam-tam, this is called a tam-tam. This is called a dun-dun. This is called a timbali. Cymbal, tambourine. Italy, timpani. Trombone, drum, strum. There you go, when you strum an instrument. Tabla, tuba, gong, bongo. Tambadora. Here we go. Look at these Cuban instruments. Tum, tum, atum, everything. Dumbek in Egypt. Dum, djembe in Africa. Trumpet, trombone. All music, all sound. God is sound, is Atum. All is Atum. There's nothing but Atum in the universe. And what is Atum? It's Adam. And what is Adam? The dome. And what is the dome? The apple of Apollo, the bull of the Taurus, of the apple of Apis, of the arbor, which is the tree. All right? We got the point, haven't we?